morning is too late already, so I'm right before the lunch. Thank you very much that I have today the opportunity to talk a little bit about a future project which is called Manufacturing X. I just want to tell you a bit about the mission and motivation, about some key elements, the framework, community, and give you an outlook. As I said, this project is at a very early stage, so it's still to be formed, and it will be an international project, not a German, not a pure European project, as global value chains are global. So what is the key mission statement of Manufacturing X? It will implement an open, decentral and collaborative industrial data space for Industry 4.0 across industrial sectors. What we see now is that thanks to Gaia-X, we see the development of more and more data spaces, but they are still, I don't want to say in silos, but they are still more vertically organized. And it's, I think, a clear vision that those data spaces have to be connected, which is one of the main basic ideas we had when we started Gaia-X. So we see today that we have one project, Catena-X, which is a lighthouse project of Gaia-X as well, covers the automotive sector. Many of you, or most of you, have heard about it. But we have more manufacturing sectors or industries. We have the machinery, we have the electric sector, we have the energy sector, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, or even more. So we want to align those sectors in so far that it becomes somehow one space where you can exchange data or do some cases together. But why do we need Manufacturing X? There is a political statement as well about it. We all know resilience is a word which becomes more and more important. The value chains are not so, how should I say, they are affected by the Ukrainian war, they have been affected by Corona and so on. So how best to reorganize or to give more resilience to value chains? It's using digitalization and data-driven business models. Secondly, sustainability, it's the same. If you really want to improve sustainability, you have to use digitalization and data. And sure, we have in Europe, and this is valid for all countries in the world, you have to keep competitiveness, and we know the future of the industry will be definitely data-driven. So what are the challenges we have today? Why Manufacturing X? So interoperability. We have this fragmented landscape, as I said before, of data silos or small-scale incompatible data spaces. So you need much more standards, you need much more joint understanding. So we have a regulatory framework. There's still a lot of legal uncertainty with the data protection rules and so on and so on. You all know that. And a very critical task is we have to change the cultural mindset. It's not about taking data and use them as a single company. We have to know how we can create commonly, jointly, a basis to use data and to make the difference on the innovation above that. And we have still one challenge, that's the degree of digitalization. For example, SMEs, I think they have to be well integrated from the very first moment when we start this project, or I prefer to call it Initiative Manufacturing X. So we need to act, we need to have value creation, increasing share of data economy is very clear. Industrial competitiveness, we all know labor costs are rising, demographic changes do the rest, and so on and so on. So we need more digitalization, data again. Then we have coming Data Act or Data Governance Act, a lot of European regulations. Outside of Europe there are other regulations, so we have to deal with those upcoming regulations, which are quite challenging, by the way. We have this geopolitical context to increase supply chain resilience, and the environmental context I said before. Oh, sorry, I put the wrong. So, what are the key success elements? We need a clear value proposition for SMEs and all companies. We need accessibility and, very important, scalability. It only works if we find ways to scale up our ideas. We need interoperability. We need data sovereignty and trust, very strongly related to the Gaia-X idea. And we need international cooperation. That's really key. I just have to repeat it again and again. We have global value chains, so we have to form such kind of ideas in a global environment. So, I just give you an example of cross-industry use cases. We have, for example, collaborative condition monitoring and maintenance, carbon footprint management or measurement. It only works if you can easily and almost automatically collect data from the whole value chains or networks. Energy load shifting is an example, collaborative quality management or traceability of parts, remanufacturing and circular economy. Circular economy can only work if you transport all the necessary data with the product, what is in. So you need complex ideas how to deal or organize this data business. Not a simple task, I would say. So Manufacturing X, it's not a technical presentation, but we need shared services, we need a data infrastructure, there will be a shared technological base layer, somehow regulatory framework. This is exactly what we have and want to create in the next time. Catena-X, I mentioned before, it's sure Catena-X is somehow part of Manufacturing X. So we will build, or we have to build on what Catena-X, but all the other projects have already developed so far. There is a lot of experiences, and it has to work together. But in the end, we need, as you saw before in this circle with the different sectors, there are certain rules, standards, mechanisms we have to organize for all industries, across industries. And this is exactly what we have to find out. What is exactly in the core of Manufacturing X and what will be more related to the single industrial domains. Catena-X, you know the project, maybe the biggest project which is funded by the German government. It's a blueprint. We have to start from there. We don't want to double invent anything, but sure it has to be proven that shows what has been developed there does work not only in Europe, does work for Manufacturing X and as a whole. I think there was good work done and is still on its way where we can build on. So it's not a separated project. I like this old X from Gaia-X. We have always said we have an infrastructure ecosystem and a data ecosystem which has to be connected together with Gaia-X mechanisms. The Federation Services Middle is one framework, reference implementation, but these are rules which Pierre just before explained what is needed. We have Catena-X, it can't be alone, so we need Manufacturing X, the whole sector. There are many other projects in many countries, and we have to bring it together and to understand better how is the interlinkage between the different data spaces. And we are hopeful in this year, I guess so, that in a few months we will be able to start the IPCI cloud, which will give a push really to the ideas we started with Gaia-X. And there are a lot of other projects in Germany as well. But in the end, this whole picture I still like a lot to see that many pieces have to work together. And for me, Manufacturing X is somehow a missing link we now want to start. What is key? When we talk about Manufacturing X, it's not about just starting another R&D project and just see what comes up. No, it's much more. We have really to think from the very first moment that we take along SMEs, so we need transfer. We need to have a big manufacturing data space, and we have to build a community. It has to work really on a broad level. In Germany, we started this project with the platform Industry 4.0 with some ideas, but for me it was very important to get along and to get on this initiative the main business associations we have in Germany, like BDI or the Machinery Equipment Association or the Electronics or Bitkom. They all are completely on board, and we see it as a task, not only for another use cases, but really to digitalize the industry as a whole. These are only a few ideas which has to be developed over the next time, whatever time it is, maybe months, years, we don't know exactly. But what I like, for example, with Catena-X, they also have an operating model now. And I think we need not only to have use cases, but we have to bring it to the market. And there has to be an organization which takes care of that. And so we have, for Manufacturing X as well, we have to look forward and so how can we operate the whole system? What is the right way? There will be the topic of certification. We are sure it will be open source, so we need a repository. It's the same like you have in all communities like Gaia-X or others as well. We need to market it, you need to organize public relations, you need technology, you need to create an ecosystem, the architecture and standards you need for it, and the transfer. So this is a coming task to create an international Manufacturing X community which has to be orchestrated. Maybe one point which I think is of great importance. As it can't be a national or only European project, you have to bring together different stakeholders. If you want to bring them all together in one place, so you will never really start. So we have to find a way how to build it in a decentralized manner. So my proposal would be that we have a bottom-up process which is driven by different regions and countries, and we somehow bring it together. This is exactly what we have to develop. Current status, we are in an early stage. We started in Germany, we had to convince our minister, Minister Habeck. He is extremely supportive to this project. We did this in March with the platform Industry 4.0. Then we tried to find a funding concept to strengthen the initiative, to bring the, as I said before, the business associations on board, just to broaden the initiative. And we established just, it's now 6 weeks ago, we established in the sense of a bottom-up process in Germany, for Germany, a committee for Manufacturing X, where we just thought out in the various working groups, what is exactly Manufacturing X, what do we have to do, what are the use cases which are maybe most prominent, how can we push it forward, this project. And I hope, by the way, that we get in Germany the acceptance for substantial financing of some R&D projects. I hope we will have it very soon. So that we, what for us is a key date, it's the Hanover Fair, which takes place from 16th to 20th of April in Hanover. Platform Industry 4.0 has organized a joint booth. We have there Gaia-X, we have Catena-X, we have the asset administration shell organized by the IDTA, International Digital Twin Association, and some other organizations. And you will see by Catena-X, they unfortunately have had no possibility to come here these days, but they will show how it can go live and how the further process will go on. So they will show an operating model in the first stage. So you're invited to join us in Hanover, and I hope we can trigger then really this project so that we can really push it forward and create something big. So yeah, that was it so far. So it's more an invitation today to think about what Manufacturing X can mean for you, for your country, for your company. And yeah, you're invited to join in, to discuss and to form this future initiative. And I hope it will be really, it's a part of Industry 4.0. And if we would really manage to create a data-driven business, to create this new culture, I think this will be a proof again that Gaia-X was exactly the right way to start, because without Gaia-X, I used to say it very often, we wouldn't have those lighthouse projects which are sitting here, we wouldn't have Catena-X, we wouldn't have Manufacturing X, and I think we are forming right now something which I would say it's not a European model what we have, but we have to secure data sovereignty for Europeans on European values, but we have to be open for the whole world. Just again, global value chains. Thank you very much, and hope I'm here for discussion. If you're interested, please just approach me. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to introduce the ideas. Thank you.